So the truth is that digital marketing is, of course, beyond social media. And some years ago, I literally started off a video with that and saying, yo, digital media goes beyond social media. But the truth is, I actually want to like go deeper in that because, especially with the overall online climate these days, you know, it has become more apparent that we need to get into that. We need to have that firm understanding so that less people, pack up their online business and say bye, and go back into 9 to 5 and stuff. Now, granted, there are multiple elements or multiple reasons for persons to want to do that and stuff. But the truth is, it's becoming more rampant, and it's because a lot of persons are so hell bent or so focused on just one specific platform or maybe two specific platforms that always have changes, right? But the truth is, if you're really running a business, your business needs to understand, or you need to understand that digital is simply a marketing channel or a communication channel versus the end all or be all of your business, right? So, saying that to say, when you understand that now, you become more open minded to exploring different digital channels to then, learn a strategy or learn a couple strategies, to suit the specific digital channels, right? So, I mean, yeah, let me just go ahead and get into that for this video so that we can really just get rid of that intense dependence on one singular platform or maybe two and stuff and spread ourselves a bit more with a strategic approach so that we don't have to reach that point of, okay, cool, yo, I'm done with digital because, yeah. So let's get into it. No, here's the thing, right? Um, all of this is called multi-channel marketing, right? The idea of putting yourself in multiple spaces in the digital sphere where you can be found by your ideal customer, right? Multi-channel marketing allows you to diversify the way you communicate or the way you express yourself so that you can be able to be I don't want to say consumed. That's weird. But your content can be taken in a very palatable way based on where people are or which platform people are interacting with your brand with. Now, the interesting thing is that if you're gonna dive into this idea of multi-channel marketing, that's when your brand becomes that much more important because you have to have a singular brand or a standard approach to expressing your brand and speaking on behalf of your business that can then be transformed into multiple content types so that people will understand what you're trying to say while you are still staying true to your brand and the way you are communicating or the way you are expressing. You get what I'm saying? So if it is that you are gonna dive in or whatever, it's important for you to like have that brand guide in place, have that brand mapping session with yourself, or your team. Like all of that, it's absolutely important. So once you have that in place, guys, and you're now exploring the platforms, like maybe you're jumping into YouTube more, maybe you're jumping into Pinterest, because again, like especially those two platforms are for the long game and are for SEO type searches and stuff like that, and will really help you in the long run, especially if you're willing to spend the time to build it out and stuff like that. Like even right now, I am personally building out those two platforms better, because it's just going to be a part of my strategy a bit more moving forward, right? But at the end of the day, like it's time for you to explore more types of platforms and stuff. But you have to have the thing in the back first, right? So apart from having your brand guide in the back, I really want to also recommend that you have different types of offers, perhaps that would fit the different types of platforms, right? So for instance, YouTube, like there's some persons who get to a place of just promoting a high ticket thing via YouTube, right? Like there are some people who do that. But I would say that YouTube and Pinterest, in the same way that they're similar in terms of how people search on them, I also would recommend that you have more low ticket things that are like a front facing offer, um, that will actually bring people in or allow people to enter your community, whether it's for free or maybe like just again low ticket, like which is less than $100 US. Then yeah, you allow them to partake of that and really test the waters where you're concerned, and then. And then based on that no, you are able to then say, all right, cool. Once they enter your community, that's when you start nurturing the audience. That's when you start introducing them to maybe other platforms that would allow you to allow them to see more of you in a wider type of way, right? Now, once they are able to do that, no, they can choose to go up the ladder, if you will, or explore your other offers that allow for more access to you and more resources or more teachings that are based on your fundamental beliefs that perhaps would have already been introduced, whether on your YouTube channel or whichever platform it is, and then they want to go deeper, right? So saying that to say, if you're really realizing it, it's another type of funnel, really, where you're allowing people to journey with you. You're allowing people to gradually build trust with you and stuff like that. And then from that, no, they can make informed decisions as to whether or not they want to work with you or how they want to work with you, right? So when you approach digital from a wider type of vantage point, because of course YouTube and Pinterest are only two examples, right? But when you approach digital from a wider vantage point for your business, that's when you're able to come up with different types of ideas and where you're able to segment your audience, for instance, where you're able to segment the types of things that you sell, where you're able to segment like just the overall business model that you have, and how you are able to beef up your recurring revenue. And then based on that, no, yeah, that's how your business starts to really build in terms of having more diversified type of income and diversified types of clients. You get what I'm saying? And then you're no longer bound to just getting clients in one way. You're no longer bound to just serving in one way either, right? And that's when you start stepping into that place of freedom and a comfort and a place of authenticity as well, because you are basically just showing up as you in multiple spaces, and people are getting to know you in those multiple spaces, but it's just in different formats. So I definitely hope that if you got nothing else from this video, that you are, really just willing to take more of a wider or a grand approach to the way you do digital. And when I say grand, I don't mean like over the top, like right away, but like a bigger way, a bigger step into the digital world where you're biting off more than the little piece of cheese that is one platform, and one platform just basically has you by the balls almost, pardon my French, but just saying, like, let's step bigger, let's step wider, let's jump into the ocean a bit, because there still are good things that can happen in you stepping into the ocean a bit more. You get what I'm saying? So I want to encourage you, check it out, try it out, and be less dependent on one way of doing things in this online space as a multi-passionate CEO. And you'll be surprised at the amazing results that you'll be able to get moving forward. Alrighty, so I'll see you in the next video. Dum, dum, dum.